Both series of works by Damien Hirst and Felix Gonzalez Torres were conceived in the early 90s, so about 20 years ago, and both relates, at least visually, to candies. So we thought it could have been interesting to juxtapose these two works, one very sculptural and the other one obviously pictorial, done at the same time without possibly one knowing of the other. And the early 90s, there's a lot of attention today about that period. It's a period in where a lot of really big changes happen, both in society and therefore in art. And was the birth of the internet, was the dissolution of the Soviet Union. There were really a lot of big changes which somehow presented a very fragmented world. And the candies, the way they are painted or the way they are presented in Gonzalez Torres sculptures, presents a sort of mosaic, presents a very fragmented image. Before the visual candy paintings, Damien was working on his spot paintings, and one critic said that they look like visual candies. And so, as a reaction to that, he made these paintings called visual candies. This painting contain actually many elements that are present in other works by Damien. And for example, of course, these spot paintings are the first thing that come to mind, but also the pills cabinet, which is a recurrent theme in his work. And if you look at these images, very often they look like maybe melted pills, and pills are very similar to candies. Somehow, pills are candies. Not for kids, but maybe for adults. Sometimes with the same purpose, that to make you happier or better, or there's something that helps you, even if temporarily, to feel better. In the case of Gonzalez Torres, also the candies are somehow very connected to his practice. For Gonzalez Torres, it's very important that the public interact with the work. And for example, he's also very well known for his paper stacks, which are literally stacks of paper, the size of, normally the size of a poster, let's say. And the public is invited to take a copy and bring it home and do whatever they want with it. Truly, the public is invited to participate in the work. In the case of candy, it's even more extreme, because you actually consume the work of art, because you can suck and eat the candy itself. But I think there is more to that. Gonzalez Torres was very concerned also, like many artists, for his generation or generation before, to break the barrier between art and life, and somehow to participate in the act of consuming something or to reducing something. It's very close to what we do during our lifetime, during existence, and also is what happened to ourselves in a way. We are slowly consume. And then, disappear, become nothing. So, if on the one hand, this sculpture looks very, very, very happy, a bit like Damien's canvases, they have a resonance of its opposite. They are consumed, literally, and also metaphorically. And this idea of consuming is not only a consuming of a product, but it becomes also the consuming of a body. One of the characteristics of Damien Hirst's work, which very often people don't pay much attention to, is that they always deal with very universal subjects. And when you deal with very universal subjects, at the same time you leave any interpretation very open, because we tend to treat very general, universal themes very personally. I see something and relate it to my life, relate it to my experience, and another person would relate it to what he has experienced or what he has read or what he has know about that. In a way, the candy paintings, like many of other Damien's work, somehow refuses any precise interpretation. But I imagine most of us would probably, when think of candy and then relate it to his other work about the pills, will think of this continued perhaps need that we have to be reassured that there is always something that would make us feel better or make us feel happier. But of course, because we have to rely on a material thing to get into that state, it's almost an illusion. And I think, like in most of Damien's work, the obsession that we have to prolong our life, or the fear that we have continuously of decay, is sort of made into a work of art, into a pictorial representation, which I think is very, very strong in his case. In Damien Hirst's practice, titles are very important. They are titles that say around happiness, around hope, around a certain positiveness.